A hike along an isolated section of the Esquimalt and Nanaimo Railway's Port Alberni Subdivision. The section of the E&N Railway Port Alberni Subdivision west of Cameron Lake and east of the Port Alberni Summit is one of the most isolated sections of the entire E&N system because of geography and lack of road access points. This isolation is increased because the railway is blocked by thick vegetation overgrowth, numerous windfalls, and rockfalls, rock slides, and it's also blocked by old wooden trestles with decks in very poor condition, which prevent any kind of rail maintenance vehicle from accessing this isolated section of the railway. The isolated section is between milepost 13.7 and 18.1, as these are trestles in poor condition at either end of the segment, which prevent any access across the trestles, thereby isolating the number of miles between those trestles. Most of this area is shown on this map. There are 4 railway trestles that I wanted to visit as part of this walk, and I've included detail of those trestles in a separate YouTube video. My favorite 2 of this group of trestles are 2 and 3 miles away from my highway access point, and I want to arrive at those trestles in the good morning light before the sun gets too harsh, and that's why I'm starting my hike in the dark, about an hour before sunrise. I really enjoy the history and scenery of this railway, and so I like to hike it at least once a year to stay updated on its condition, because I care about it and I want to be able to report on any new rock falls or windfalls or other problem areas. A big problem with this section of railway is the Scottish broom weeds, an invasive species, and it really just destroys the whole walking experience because the broom is so thick and tall, and the broom also carries ticks which have Lyme disease, and so I can't walk through here during tick season, which is like April to early September, and so I have to limit my visits to this area to the colder parts of the year. So one of my objectives of this video is to show just how bad the broom situation really is in this segment of the railway. This is an out and back hike starting at mile 20.6 and continuing down to mile 16. That's my turnaround point, and then a more tired me heads back to mile 20.6. It was about 8 hours in total, 4 hours out, 4 hours back. Walking eastward at around mile 20.7 or so on the Port Alberni subdivision of the E&N Railway. 1 hour from now will be sunrise, if the fog lets it. But I'm starting so early because I want to be at those far trestles for the nice morning light. I'm coming up to mile 20.2 trestle pretty soon. Usually it just surprises me. I come around a corner and see the Jordan rail. Even more so a surprise in the dark. And here we are, mile 20.2. Haven't seen you for almost a year. Okay, it's 6:20 a.m. Finished here at the 20.2 trestle. I took a couple photographs, long exposures obviously, and we'll see what they look like, and I'll continue on walking eastward. into the woods. The next landmark of sorts is mile 19.6, the site of the old Aerosmith water tower. I'm at mile 19.6, the site of the Aerosmith water tower, with Scott's sign that still stands. Okay, next stop in the dark, mile 18.8, bridge and trestle combo. And by then, it should be light enough to see without a headlamp. Continue walking in between mile 19 and 20, counting it down, getting closer to mile 19. Got a lot of evergreen trees growing in the middle, and the occasional broom plant. I know the broom's going to be more plentiful later, but the evergreen trees, those are nice. A lot of what I'm walking on, the grade, used to be trestles. A lot of them were replaced in the 1920s after this railway was built in, I think, 1915. As is usually the case, it was built with a lot of temporary wooden trestles. So the area that I'm walking today, I'm seeing 4 bridges and trestles, and I will research and put up a subtitle for the number of trestles that there actually were in that 4-mile stretch that I'm walking today. For the most part, when the trestles were replaced, they were replaced with filled-in earth, but there are a few cases where the old records I've seen have noted that they were replaced with basically a widened, well, filled in, and then a retaining wall. And I've seen evidence of the retaining walls between mile 18 and 19. Can't see them right now, it's dark. And there were a couple trestles listed in the old records that weren't replaced until the 1970s. So a lot of what I'm walking on used to be trestles. Basically because I'm walking on a grade that was hugging the side of a mountain. Milepost 19. Here's my first broom jungle of the day. Right near milepost 19. Broom all down the middle, broom encroaching from the sides. Some of it as tall as my chest. Here's hoping the ticks have left. Well, just aren't around. I don't want them leaving the broom and going on to me. This is around mile 18.9, and this was a really long trestle. I'll put the details up as a subtitle. And this was replaced by a filled-in grade with a retaining wall. And coming up around this corner should be the mile 18.8 trestle bridge combination. And here comes that interesting structure. There's no creek under here. It's just a little bit of a dry ravine. So the leaves are starting to change, but they're not spectacular yet. I'm okay missing that. Okay, onward. Next stop, 0.7 miles to 18.1 trestle. I'm really curious about that one. I was last time too, because it's in such poor shape. So I want to see how it survived the winter of 2019-2020. I am about 1 hour into my walking today, and I've covered about 2 miles, and that's great. I'm really happy with that because the 1 mile every half hour is my usual rail walking pace, and I thought it would take longer today because this would be more overgrown and so slower going, but so far so good, even including stops at the various waypoints of trestles and mileage markers. Continuing on towards the mile 18.1 trestle, and I'm in the neighborhood of the old Appanese siding. I'll be there soon, but there's nothing left of that. I'd just like to say hello to the people who will be watching this video. Appreciate you watching the stuff that I enjoy doing. I'd like to say hello to Carl, who always leaves a comment on giving me more background into the dates and locations of the things that I'm seeing. Thank you, Carl. I'd like to do a shout out hello to Aiden, who has a really good series of social media sites called Trains on Vancouver Island. He covers ENN, Englewood Railway, and all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Hello, Aiden. Shout out to you. Also shouting out hello to Maddox and Victor and Nolan and Thomas, or Tom, not sure what you go by. You guys have such an enthusiasm for the ENN trains that travel in Nanaimo. Really inspires me to go out and see things myself. So thanks for doing what you do and doing it with excellence. There's a rail stockpiled in there, along with the land stake. It says ENN. Coming up just past this windfall should be mile 18.1 trestle. I think I'll have some fun doing some photography here and then continue on. Oh yeah, really, really bad. So someone's come through here and flagged things for hikers. That's good. Okay, I'm finished here for morning light at 18.1, and now I'll head down to the mile 17.5 trestle. Yeah, this height of broom is a problem. A jungle. Wow. Walking east at around mile 17.8, 17.7. Big drop off there. I'm in a filled in area, making a ledge here for the grade. And I'm pretty sure this would have been a wooden trestle in the original, and then later on filled in. So far today, I've noticed that most or all of the big windfalls that were blocking the track last times I've been here have been removed sometime between October 2019 and now. I am very, very thankful. Thank you to whoever worked on removing these windfalls. Here comes the mile 17.5 trestle. This one's safe to walk down the middle. I'm coming up to some more broom.
This is my biggest obstacle, mainly because of the problem of ticks and Lyme disease that the ticks carry. So I got to be careful as I walk through. And as soon as I finish walking through a bunch of broom like this, I stop and I brush my arms off and look at the rest of my shirt and pants for ticks. I got a long sleeve shirt. My pant legs are tucked in and protected also by gaiters at the bottom. But I've already found a few ticks that attach themselves to the outside of my shirt that I've brushed off. So I will continue to do that. But there's no windfall problems because some really nice people did some great work in the last 11 months sometime to clear those. Again, I'm really thankful. I'm also thankful for this nice cushy mossy area right here. Very pretty around mile 17.4. No more trestles this direction, but I want to get to a turnaround point, and that's to set me up to come to that place from the opposite direction later on in autumn, I hope, from the Cameron Lake end. That way I will have seen a whole segment and be able to report on any issues. Here's a nicely cut windfall. Further ahead though, I get my first crawl over walk around windfall of the day. Well, first one I've had to walk around today, and there was some work done on this to make it easier. More good work. Here's where a rock fall or a windfall has broken a rail. There's some pieces there, some pieces there. Here's the end of it. Here's a rock and windfall area. Oh yeah, that guy's big, and it had an impact. Okay, I haven't had to do much of this gymnastics. Not bad at all. Wow, look at that. That's a big rock fall. Came right from way up there. Oh, that's a big gap here to here. And some broken rail. Looking up the slope, I'm standing in the part where the rails got knocked out by that guy. It's a nice clear path. I can see the lake through there. And we're really just right on the edge. A big drop off. Not at my turnaround point yet. I'm looking for, there's a bit more of a gradual trail that goes down from here. And so that's what I'm looking for, and it's after an old rock slide area like this right here, where the rocks are covered with moss. Yeah. And someone's marker for the trail coming up. So pretty soon I should see that trail going down, and that's my indication. I'm at about 16.5. If I feel ambitious and the broom isn't too brutal, I might go a little bit further. The broom is taller than me here. This will be fun. Give myself a good shake when I get through this. Okay, that was brutal. Still is though. Here comes a big rock. This rock, I think, is here from last year. Oh, great. I'll go through this quickly. Nice. That's a nice spider. I'm going to go around the outside. Spiders work too hard on that one. As I emerge through the broom, this is that trail going down that I'm envisioning. Oh, it's exactly the same flagging I had in my video from that I was looking at. I was doing my homework last night, looking at my video from last year. I'm going to keep going for a bit. Bonus time before I have my turnaround. I'm somewhere around mile 16.5. So I'm at the middle point between what I use for my access points from either end, west end or east end, when I'm doing railway hiking in this area. I'm about 4 miles from Port Alberni Summit area and 4 miles from Cameron Lake Chalet Road area. This is my turnaround windfall. I saw it from both sides in 2019, and it hasn't been cleared, so hey, it's okay. If I go down just a little bit further to the corner, I should find the mile 16 sign, and that would be a really good turnaround for today. That'll give me about 4.5 miles each way. Gee, that's about 9 miles total, and that's a lot of kilometers. It also reduces the amount of distance I would want to do if I came from the other end later on this fall or in the spring. And here's milepost 16 coming up. I like it because it's a couple windfalls. There should be a rock, kind of a little bit of everything to tell me that I'm on the Port Alberni Subdivision. And of course it really helps to have the mile marker that's still standing. The one for mile 17 and mile 18 is missing. Happy to be here. Mile 16. Turnaround point. Okay, well, I'm hopeful that I can come back here this time from the other end, from Cameron Lake Chalet end, from like mile 13 in, and sometime between now and when tick season starts up in full again in April. Okay, saying goodbye to mile 16, heading back west where I've come from this morning. Lots and lots and lots of broom. Okay, I've got about a mile and a half to go, so that's going to be 45 minutes to an hour. Tough walking through the broom to get to the mile 17.5 trestle. I'm between mile 16 and 17 walking westward. I just come out of a whole lot of tall broom, and so this looks like the best railway ever right now because I can walk. Yeah, there's broom, but it's little small guys in the middle. And I know I'm going to get more tall broom in a few moments. But for right now, a bit of a reprieve. The railroad grade here is pretty much the same. It's cliff, slope, sometimes rock face on the north side, and a drop off down to Cameron Lake and then McMillan Park, Cathedral Grove on the south side. And I'm walking over many filled in trestle areas that were timber framed trestles. I think there might have been a couple diversions as well. Rock pile here, worked by the East End Track Gang and the Alberni Pacific Railway years ago. I got the west end of Cameron Lake through there. I'm around mile 16.5 with the trail going down to Cathedral Grove, McMillan Park. That's nice view there. What's not nice, time to go through the broom forest once again. So many different versions of the island corridor jungle here. Here's a trail, really steep, with a cable for a rope going down. Here's the big rock fall. Looking down the line with the nice gap. That's the path that the boulder took. Came from somewhere way up there. Destroyed some trees as well as some rail. Wow. Here's another spot where a boulder flew down. Knocked out the rail, broke it right off on one side, but not the top side. I'm coming up to the mile 17.5 trestle. I've been waiting for this moment for like a mile and a half. I'm tired walking on the return leg of my hike, but this trestle will be a nice little break. I really like it, so it rejuvenates my spirit. And now I get to walk for what, 0.6 of a mile, so about a kilometer or so, and I'll head over to the mile 18.1 trestle and see how it looks in the late morning light. It's about 11:45 a.m. I've been going at it here for almost 6 hours. I'm having fun. Here's one rail. Here's the other. The broom is tall as me, almost 6 feet tall, taller than 6 feet tall in a few places. Oh yeah. Okay, onward. I'm almost at the mile 18.1 trestle. What a treat. Alright, let's continue westward. Next stop, mile 18.8 in 0.7 of a mile. Wow, I can do math. There's the concrete retaining wall running along here. This is about mile 18.7, and my old records say that this used to be a trestle here where I'm standing. And then to replace the trestle, they put in some fill and held in the fill with a retaining wall. So they basically built out some land. There's a few of these property stakes I've noticed in similar areas pushed out on the before the embankment. And I think this was cleared, or maybe the stake is from sometime in the last 11 months, because I did not notice this the last time I was here. Okay, so this is at least the second instance of this I've seen, and it's new to this year. Mile 19.6 would be the water tower, and here's the water, and here's the site of the tower. And there's one concrete form and two concrete forms. I'm beside the site of the old Aerosmith section house, which is right through there. I explored that area last time I was here, October 2019. I'm getting close to getting done, mile 20, and I figure my turn off the railway to go to where I parked my car is about mile 20.5, 20.7, something like that. I'll say 20.5. It's better for my motivation right now. Next up is the mile 20.2 trestle,